It's a sunny, cool morning. I'm seeing all these trees, all the leaves blowing. I wanted to tell you something kind of funny. Yesterday, after the eye appointment, and after I called you up, sometime later I ran into Lowe's just to look at paint chips. You know, the paint cards? Because I'm thinking again, at some point I'd like to, well, I would like that my kitchen was painted, but I would start with behind the sink, that wall, which also goes behind the stove. I did put up quite a few years ago some stick and peel tiles, good size ones, and it's white with a black design on it, and boy did it brighten up that area. But it's time for a change. It's been time for a change. I've gone through this several times where I go and get paint chip cards and put them up on the wall to see the shades at different times of the day in the kitchen. But the only light I have coming through into the kitchen is my front door window, which is kind of frosted, so it's not really a good light to go by. But anyway, I've been thinking, now this probably will be like a winter project, if it even happens. But you know my favorite color is periwinkle. And so I'm thinking a periwinkle would look nice for the wall. So I go to Lowe's and I'm at the paint section looking at the chips. And this older lady comes up to me. I thought she was a customer, and she says, well, how are you doing? I said, oh, I'm doing good. I said, I'm looking for, you know me, I just break right out into conversation with anyone just about. I said, I'm looking for a very unusual color, periwinkle. And she didn't have on a Lowe's apron. That's why I didn't think she worked there. And she says, well, let's ask the ladies at the counter, in the paint counter, which was right behind us, if they even carry it. So we turned around, and before I could get anything out of my mouth, she's already asking them. And they're two young ladies, and they, one looked up on the computer and said, oh yeah, we have it. And I said, oh, I couldn't find a paint chip with that, you know, the name of that color on it. And she said, well, go back over to the paint chip area and scan the Q code. You know, that square code thing. Scan that on your phone, and then a search will come up, and put in periwinkle, and it will tell you exactly what card number has that color. It sounds simple, right? Not for me. So I do all that, and this elderly lady is attached to my hip by now. She's so interested. And it came up, sorry, no results. So I turned back around to the two young people. One was on her phone, and I said, it's coming up, sorry, no results. So she says, well, you may have to go to the other, I think one was Benjamin Moore, and I don't know what the other one is. She said, you may have to walk over to the other one and do the same thing. I did that. I got the same result, and the elderly lady said, let me see that phone. And I showed her. She said, yep, no results. So we turned back around her, and she's going on and on. And the elderly lady says to me, why don't you go over there and look at their computer? Maybe if you see what they're seeing, it will help you. I didn't even know if I was allowed back there. I still don't know who this lady is. Is she an employee? She don't have a name tag on. She don't have a Lowe's apron on. Well, I did go behind the computer, the counter, and the young lady there did let me look at the computer. And I said, it's so hard to tell what color I'm looking for looking at this screen. You know, the light is different here than underneath those paint chips. You have that nice LED lighting. It really brings the color out. And I'm thinking, where am I going? So I said, I just don't know. Well, I went back over to the paint chips, and I looked, and I found none of them said periwinkle, but I did find a color that is similar. And I brought it home, and I've been looking at it on the wall, and I kind of like it. And then the color underneath it, I forgot the name of it, but I think that would look nice for the cabinets. I'll have to show you. Like I said, this is down the road project, but since I'm getting all kinds of projects in my mind, and this goes back to me writing down all these whips and UFOs as far as my crocheting, writing those down on pieces of paper and once a week drawing a project to work on, hopefully finish. This project came into my mind. Now, if you've been following me for a good while, you know that several years ago my landlord added on a room to the trailer. It is a very small living room where I have my elephant in the room love seat, my lavender love seat. And a friend from church had come and had started helping me paint that room. I can't really paint. I can paint the chicken coop because it's not tall. But a wall, it's really, I can't do it with my shoulders and my arms. I can't. Now, this kitchen wall that I'm talking about, where to start behind the sink, I probably could do. So, my friend had come and I had picked out the two colors. Back to Nature, which is a really nice green. And he got that one wall done. It needed another coat, but then he started working a third job and never got to come back to finish. I really need to work in that room. See, there was trouble with a leak too. Last year, was it? I can't remember. Lots of things. And it's very hard when you're disabled and limited as far as your mobility. You're stretching and you're reaching and you're bending. And my church, we're not a very big church, and most of the people in my church don't even live here. Three families drive over an hour away. I've often wondered what happened to the goats that used to be over there. Oh, they're over here. at the mercy of, other people's, especially people that are married and have families and that work and, they need time with their families. So, painting a room or a wall is not an emergency. I mean, if I had a real bad fall and was bleeding out or something and I called someone from church, they would come. Yeah, and I'm not one to, now I'll ask for help. I'm not too proud that I won't ask, but I don't ask for help with every little thing, I mean, that can get out of hand. But anyway, these are just some winter projects. What am I thinking of that for? It would really brighten up the kitchen. You'd walk in and, it'd be nice and bright. The wall that the trailer has, the color I mean, is like I don't even think it's paint, it's just the wall. It's like a vinyl, whatever, and I don't like it. I don't know how to describe it, but if you've been in travel trailers or campers, you know that they're made just to get you by. Unless you've got money to get a really, really fancy one. Or if you're talented to be able to do painting and things like that. My dream a few years ago was, and it would be just a dream because it would cost money, was to paint the whole outside of the trailer, at least the part where I walk in and out of. Paint it and have like a mural, if I had money. Hire someone to come paint a mural. At that time, I was thinking of like a desert scene with succulents. But let's face it, if I had the money to do that, I wouldn't be living in a travel trailer, right? Hey, it doesn't cost anything to dream or to come up with ideas that don't cost anything. So, yeah, but that struck me later on. It struck me funny at Lowe's. What happened? Now, sometime today, Ella had replied to the video I did yesterday when I talked about the eyeglasses and looking for a place online. And I did mention that a couple years ago I was made aware of a place that began with a Z. But all that kept coming to my mind was zoology. And I didn't have time yesterday to look. But she left a comment, and she does use a place that begins with a Z, and it sounds very familiar to what I was made aware of. So today I'm going to look into that. What else? Excuse me. I'm going out to this Walmart. This is in Murphy, Texas. This Walmart out in Murphy, their produce is better than the one in the city I live in. And it's just really down the road. Oh, I figured out the deal with my Michaels thing. Remember, I went there, I showed you a video, and I had that $5 voucher, and I knew the kid had scanned it. And then I was wondering, why is it saying I have another $5 voucher good till September 29th? It did not seem right to me. Well, like 2 days later, I went back to my Michaels app and I looked, and it showed that my new $5 voucher is just starting over. And so I'm glad about that, because I knew I had used that one. Please be going to my post page and reading the information I've been posting every day about Chiari malformation, the brainstem disease I have. September is Chiari Malformation Awareness Month, colors purple, but I've been posting some information about that every day. Up here on the left is the Starbucks that I used to teach crochet at. I used to teach crochet there just about every Saturday morning. I got something to show you when I get parked. Oh, not watching. Well, the animal, is this empty? Hallelujah. The animal, what's it called? I live in Collin County Animal, oh, wow. Collin County Animal Adoption Center has suspended all dog operations because they're having a outbreak of distemper. And I saw online last week another local animal shelter place was not allowing adoptions. They were having some kind of canine influenza. What I want to show you is, you know, I've been going through things, and I found this that I had made to sell, but I never posted it on my my website. But I'll show you. And it is for sale. You probably don't want to buy it because you crochet, but I'm just saying. I don't know what yarn I used, but it to me it's very boho. Look at it. Look at those colors. It's a scarf, and they're 4-inch or maybe 4.5-inch squares. And it measures, not counting the fringe, but from this square till the last square, about 72 inches long. They're just simple, solid granny squares that I had made and joined together, and I made a scarf. Let's see if you can see the colors better. Really boho, isn't it? Yeah. You know me. Love variegated and love squares. Let's have a sip of water in my chicken cup that Laura sent me. And as far as my decluttering for this week, I really don't have but maybe only 2 things. It's been a busy week doing other things with appointments and laundry, and I've worked out in the chicken yard. I am having a problem with that rooster that my friend had given me a few weeks ago. I named him finally Rudy because he's very rude. Now he will still come on my wrist and walk up to my shoulder or sit in my lap, but it takes a lot of coaxing. Coaxing? Yeah. It's not like before when he would follow me all around and just want to be held, or I'd put my hand down and he'd get up. It takes some work now to get him to come up on me like that because he has a girlfriend, one of those hens. But my problem with him is, now this usually happens in the evening, maybe like an hour before they're going into roost. He goes after Esther. And I wish that Esther would just take a bite out of him and he wouldn't mess with her no more. But how can I put it? He tries to get frisky with her, if you know what I mean. He can't do that. It's never going to work. But he chases her all around. Her wings get to flapping and she starts honking and she walks into things. I'm afraid she's going to get hurt. And then, well, it's just, it upsets me because if I'm not there to separate him, he's pretty mean. He'll bite her head, bite her neck. I don't want him to peck her eye or anything like that. So he better knock it off. I don't know why he doesn't realize that she's not a hen. She's a goose. He has plenty of hens, and he has his girlfriend. Poor Esther. Well, I'm going to get in here. I'm very sleepy today. How about today if I make my list of my crochet projects and And then Monday, I draw a project to start trying to finish with your support. You could see the progress. I got things I need to get finished and get sold. And then I have gifts to make. Yep. A lot. All right. I'm going to let you go. Wallet. Yep. Okay. Talk to you later.